introduction of the chess game, like how to set the board. Okay, so here you can see that A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. These. Okay. So these are called as files. So let me clear the board and I will show you. Okay, so these vertical lines are called as files in the chessboard. You can see the vertical lines are called as the files, and the horizontal lines are called as the rank. Okay, so totally we have 8 files and 8 rank. Okay, so the vertical lines are this one, the A file. You can see this full row is A file, and this one is B file, and the next one is C file and E file. Likewise, we have till H file. Okay, so these are called as the files and rank. So I will just set the position. So you can see the board now. So in chess, we can see that there are 8 files. The vertical lines are called as files, and horizontal lines are called as the rank. Okay, so there are 8 files and there are 8 ranks. Okay, so um, this is called the algebraic notation. For example, if we are making any move, our game can be recorded. For this is E file, and this is 4th rank. Okay, so if we make a move like this, it is called E4. So in chess, how the move is recorded is, first we should mention the name of the file, then the name of the rank. So here you can see that, as I told you, the vertical lines are called as files, and the horizontal lines are called as rank. So when we make a move, how the move can be recorded is, like we should first mention the name of the file. Okay, so it is, we moved the pawn here. The name of the file is E file. So this name of the file is E file, and the name of the rank is 4th rank. So the name of this move is E4. You can see in this uh, score sheet where how it is written. It is written as E4. So likewise, let's say black plays this move. So how can you call this move? Can anyone tell? So it is on the C file, and it is on the 5th rank. So first we should mention the name of the file, then the name of the rank. So it is called as C file. You can see here. So E4 and C5. So first thing, the most important thing which you should know is the files and the rank. So the vertical lines are called as the files, and the horizontal lines are called as the rank. Okay, so I will just type it here. Okay, so the vertical lines are called as ranks, and the horizontal lines are called as files. Vertical lines. So the vertical lines are called as files, and horizontal lines are called as ranks. Okay, so okay, okay then. So we will directly go to some of the instructive positions since these ideas are already known. Okay, so I will just set a position. Now we are going to look about piece coordination. So how to coordinate the pieces. So this is the basic step which you must know. For example, how to coordinate the pieces. Okay, so we will keep the king on h4. Okay, so we should mate black king in 3 moves. Okay, so this is the first step for learning the coordination better. So we should coordinate the pieces, white pieces, and we should cover all the squares, possible squares for the black king, and we should mate in 3. So can anyone try here? White to play. How can we mate in 3 moves? So you can type the moves in the chat box. So white to play. So white mates in 3 moves. H4. Yeah, king is on h4. Yes, white to play and mate in 3 moves. Okay, so this is the initial step. You got a whole entire army here, but black is having only the lone king. Okay, so e3 takes away how many squares? Okay, so it is taking few squares. So one more is gone. So black will try to expand his possibilities. So he will go here. So now in 2 moves you have to mate, which is quite difficult because there are a lot of squares for the black king to move around. Okay, so first move, any other move? So g3. Okay, g3 is a check. When you play check, the king will go to g5. Okay, so in 2 moves you need to mate. So g3 also doesn't really work here. So f3 also won't work. So first thing we need to understand, like, what are the possible squares which is there for the king. So if we know the possible squares, then we can limit those squares and mate. Okay, so the first move which I would recommend is to play d4. Why d4 is because in a single move you can see it is taken more number of squares. Now the king has 1 2 squares only, and he has to move within the 3. So the king tries to, black plays king h5, trying to create another square. So now we can see the bishop is controlling this square. Go to g6 then. So we need to block that diagonal. So this is called piece coordination. So how can we do that? Is we can move the queen to d3. So once we move the queen to d3, we can see how we can coordinate the pieces. Sure. Okay, I will explain again. Okay. So we have to mate the black king in 3 moves. Okay. So in order to mate in 3 moves, we should coordinate our pieces effectively. If we coordinate it correctly, we can mate in 3 moves. Because third move, it should be check and mate. Usually, first move will only bring the pieces outside. Okay, so how to mate is we have to limit the maximum number of squares. Now you can see he has possibilities 1, 2, and 3, including this square. He has like 4 squares available at present. So the best way to cover this is we will play d4. So this move brings the bishop outside. So now he has one, one, two squares. So he will try to play king h5, trying to get to g6. Okay, so we should stop this square also by moving the queen. This queen can be used like a bishop. See, it is attacking, it is controlling the entire white diagonal, and the bishop is controlling the entire black diagonal. Okay, so the white is controlling the entire diagonal. Okay, the queen is controlling the white diagonal and black is controlling the black diagonal. So now he has two options. One is to play king to g4 or king h3. So these two options. Let's say he plays here. So now we have already made two moves. One is with the pawn and the next one with the queen. So it is the last move. And in this move, we must make checkmate. Already we have a great control. Okay, so we are already having a very good control of these diagonals. So now at present he has three squares he's having. These three squares he's having. So all these three squares should be hit in one move. All these three squares, which is a triangle. So you can see all these three squares we should cover in just one move. That too without losing control of any of the squares which we are already controlling it. So how can we hit all the three moves, three squares in just one move? So because also you should remember this move it should be a mate because we already played two moves and this move we should announce check and mate. So queen h3, brilliant move. Okay, so queen to h3, you can see uh, even though the queen loses control over this diagonal, but it is taking the squares like this and the bishop is also controlling and it's a very good coordination here. You can see the coordination is really good. So white just mates. Okay. Okay, so let's say for d4, if they go king h5, we can play queen d3, and after king g4, queen h3 is mating. But let's say if black doesn't play king to h5, instead he plays king to g4. Okay, so now you have two moves. In two moves, you have to cover all the squares. So you have to first analyze what are the possible squares where the king is able to move. We will come to a conclusion that king has a square here, two and three. Three squares, king is having freedom to move. Three squares. So how can we limit maximum number of squares? So we have two more moves to checkmate. So how can we do that? Queen d3. Okay, queen d3 worked in the last position because king was trying to go to g6. But here, queen d3. Let's say here, if you try the same trick with queen h3, anyway, black is not going to allow. He won't go here. Then queen h3 will work. He will play here, and in one move it should be a mate. And if you move the queen to h3, then he will get g6 square. And in one move, it's not possible to checkmate it. Just in one move, you have to mate. In one move, only check is possible. Mate is really not possible here. Okay, so queen d3 was what on h5. That time queen d3 was needed to stop the g6 square because king had a flight square on the g6. So in order to stop that, queen came to d3, and after king g4, queen came to h3. So this was in the previous one when king went to h5, queen d3 was needed. But at present, king is not going to h5, so there is no flight square on g6. So king is coming to g4. So now we need to take all these three squares which is marked in the yellow color. So how can we take? Okay, how can we mate here? Now it's mate in two. Okay, okay, so well, two steps e4. So I got a reply two steps e4, and somebody has told horse 2 3 f. No, see, actually, this piece is called as knight. Okay, So we cannot call it as horse. This is called as knight, K-N-I-G-H-T. But also whenever we use the knight, we use the letter N. Okay, knight F. I will just come to this point. First I will finish this. So E4 is correct. Okay, so you can just play E4. Very good move because it gives check. It takes away two squares in a single move. So it is taking the F5 square and also the H5 square, and already the G5 square is in control. So king has only one possible square to move, and that is king to H4. Okay, so how can you mate in one? In a single move, you can just mate. How can we mate in a single move? Pawn to G3. Exactly. So after pawn G3, you can see the game is over. Okay, so this is perfect coordination of the pieces. Okay. So coordination is done perfectly. Okay, so first thing we need to check is which square the king is moving. Then based on that, we should plan. You can see for king E4, there is a different plan. And I mean king to H5, there is a different plan where queen D3 is powerful, which mates like this. And if king goes to G4, now queen D3 is really not needed. We need to cover E4, taking away these squares, and after king H4, G3 mates. Okay. Okay, so now coming to this position, I will just explain this. Okay, just general concept. I will explain that. So this should be called as knight. Okay, this is not horse, but we can call it as knight. I will just type it. So this is called as knight. And okay, so normally if we move any pawns like this, for pawns we don't use the letter P. We just mention the name of the file and the name of the rank. So the name of the file is E file and the name of the rank is 4. So we write it down as E4. Okay. But likewise, let's say if black plays this move, we should mention the name of the piece. Here you can see in the score sheet, you can see that it is written knight c6. Okay, even though the knight spelling starts with K, but it is written with capital N. The reason is king is also starting with K. So if we use the letter K, it represents king. So alternatively, we use the capital letter N for knight. Okay, so that is the difference. So knight c6. Okay. Okay, so this piece is called as knight. Okay. Okay, now I will show a different type of coordination. Okay, I will just tell few tricks to checkmate. Okay. So, okay, this position. Okay, so here you can see the queen is taking control of the entire second rank. Okay, so the king is not able to cross further up. So here normally we can mate very easily. I will tell you one simple mating pattern is you can move the queen here and he will come here. We can move the queen to c2. He will come here. We will start limiting the number of squares. So the king will be left with only few number of squares. So when he goes there, we should play here. And after he plays here, we should not play queen to f2. Why we should not play to queen f2? What will happen if we move the queen to f2? Can anyone tell? Stalemate, exactly. Okay, so when the king is not in check and the king is unable to move, when the king is not in check and the king is unable to move, it's called stalemate. And when the king is in check and it is unable to move, it's called checkmate. Okay, so when the king is unable to move and not in check, it's called stalemate. Okay, so here what we can do is we will just give him two squares to move around. Then we can slowly bring the king here, and black will have only few moves. King g1, then we will go king to king to g4, then king goes to h1, then king will come to g3, then king to g1, then we will mate with queen g2. Okay, so this is mated. Okay, so these mate, I'm sure most of you know about this mate because it's in the corner, so you will be easily able to mate with king move like this, and it's quite simple. But now I will tell you a different pattern which is not so easy, but you can learn. So now you have to mate the black king, but the condition is you should not even move white king even once. So now this is not so easy. Okay, so you should not use the king at all. Without using the king, you have to mate the black king. So that means you must, yes, you can answer. So your move, queen to a3. If you play queen to a3, then he will play king to c2. Okay. Queen c7, queen a1. Okay. So I will go back. So can you tell the move again? So queen c7 is not possible. This is c2. Okay. C7 is here. Okay, so the first thing is you need to drive the black king somewhere here, and your queen should come somewhere here. So this is just a small imagination. So how can we achieve that? Okay, if you play queen to a1 or b1 check, black's reply is going to be king to d2 now, and also you should mate within 50 moves. Okay, so this is a training example to understand the better coordination of the pieces. So queen b2, okay, then again king will come to d1. Queen d4, king to c1. King to c1 now. Queen a1, then again it will repeat. Okay, so the moves will repeat only. Okay. So in order to mate, you must, and if you go queen a4, again he will play king to b1. Okay, after king to b1, queen d1, then again king to b2. Okay, so I will just tell you queen d2, then again king to b1. There is no much progress here, right? So I will tell you how to mate. Okay, so from the starting position, in order to mate, you should drive the king to the corner. How can you do that? Is first you can play queen b2, and after he plays king to e1, you can play queen c2, taking away this square. So he will be forced to move to king to f1. Now you can play queen to d2, taking this square. So he will play here. Now queen to e2 check, king to h1. Okay, now there is one important position which you must understand in order to mate here. Normally, if we play queen to f3, check here, white has made the move, black has made to g1. Now, after black made to g1, now it is white's turn to move. So in order to win, so this position is the most important position. Okay, so now it is white's turn to move. So if you are able to get this same position with black's turn to move, then you can definitely win the game. So I will just show one important idea. So directly queen f3 is not really good because king g1 and it is white to move again. So we will get the same position with black to move. So this can be done with a strong idea. Okay, it's called triangulation, which can be done. This triangle pattern is used in chess. Okay, so you can play queen to e4 check. Now, so now when the king comes to g1, now you will get the position queen f3. Now you see you got the same position, but now it is black to move. So black has only one possible move. He cannot go here to f1 or f2 or g2 or h1. So he must go to h2. Now we will take away the ranks. So we will take away this rank. So now he has only one square to move, which is g3. So now again we will take away the rank. Okay, so after we take away the rank, he plays king to f4. Then again we will take away the rank. So he will play king to g4. Then we will come closer, queen to e3. Now he will not play king to g5 because then it will be a simple checkmate with queen g5. So in order to avoid the checkmate, black will play king to h4. Now once again, here we can use a strong triangle. Okay, again the idea of triangle can be used. So we can give a check. I mean, you can give a check on g5. So when king comes to queen g1, so stopping the h2 square. So now this file is also controlled by the queen. So finally king goes to h4. Now we will take away the g2 square also. So queen to g2, and we are taking control of the g file. So king goes to h5. Now normally we can mate like this. Okay, so queen g5, but here since we should not use the king, it is not really needed. We can mate like this. This is a perfect coordination even without the support of the king. You see how it is mated. So this is called piece coordination. Okay, so once again I repeat how we got this position. Okay, so let's go back. So queen to b2, then king to e1, queen to c2, king to f1, queen to d2, king to g1, queen to e2, king to h1. Here, as I told you, if you play queen f3, king g1, then it will be white to move. So we want that position with black to move. So we play a waiting move, queen e4 check. So he has two options. One is king h2 and one is king g1. And if he goes king to g1, we will play queen to f3, and he's forced to play king to h2. We will take away the rank. He will play king g3. Again, we will take away the rank, queen e2. When he goes king to f4, again we will take away the rank. Then if he goes king to g4, we will play queen e3. And after he plays king h4, we will use the idea, okay, of triangle. So queen g5, king to h3, queen to g1, king to h4, queen to g2, king to h5, and finally queen to h3. So this is a perfect coordination, piece coordination. Okay, without using the support of the king, we are able to mate. Okay, so let's go back to this position, and I will show another possibility. That is after this move, queen e4. Okay, instead of playing king g1, if he plays king to h2, now again we can use a strong triangle like this idea. Okay, so queen can come to g4, forcing him to go to h1. Now queen will come to e2, so he cannot go anywhere, forcing him to go to. So you see the triangle here, very powerful. I mean, after this, after king h2, this triangle, queen to g4, king h1, queen to e2. So king is forced to come to G1. Now we will get queen F3. Now we got this position. This position is the most important position, as I told you. And in this position, it should be like black to move. If you want to win, you should reach this position with black to move. And finally, we got this position. And the rest of the things are very easy. Once he goes up, you can just control the ranks slowly like this, taking all the rank, second rank. Then if he goes there, again take the third rank, and again come closer in the third rank. So you will come there. Now use another triangle here. So we give a check here, and if you place king to h3, we will play queen to g1, taking the square, and after king h4, we will play queen to g2 and king h5. Finally, we can mate. So you see, without using the support of, we mated the black king without moving the white king. That is called coordination. Okay, so there are a lot of coordination related to this. Okay, so these are called studies. Okay. Okay, so does anybody have any doubt in this position so that I can explain again?
Okay.
Hello?
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Lakshmi. I think it's a good information for, and I can see, some of the students are quite beginners. So just to help you understand all the students, so first, this course is specially designed for the student of APJ and Valedra. And our coaches are, all these international rated players. Some of the coaches are very senior. In fact, Lakshmi sir is a coach of an IM and GM, and his experience of more than 10 years. So really useful. What we are trying to, because see, chess is a very vast course and we cannot cover each and everything. So I understand there are certain students, those who are good, and there are certain students, those who are beginners. So that's fine. What we are trying to do is trying to make a balance. So the example here is pretty simple when we think of a checkmate with a king and a queen. But what Lakshmi sir is actually trying to do for the advanced student, just to have an idea about the triangulation as well. Okay. And also, Lakshmi sir, if you can also brief students about the basic how the pieces move, just in case our beginner student don't miss out. So for example, how the queen moves, how the rook moves, like straight left and right, the bishops, diagonals, and things like that. We've already covered about the pieces values. And so for example, just to highlight, queen carries 9 points, and the notation for the queen is q. The king notation is k, and the king does not carry any point because it is not captured. The rooks are in Hindi we call it hathi. It's rook are more important, like it's kind of capture the straight line in the left or right and carries 5 points. Then we got the bishop and the knights. Bishop and both knight both carries 3 points, and then finally pawn. So overall we got total 16 characters, or the warriors per side. So overall we got 32 warriors, 16 from black and 16 from white. Okay. And overall this is you're looking at the chessboard. This is a kind of battlefield which consists of total 64 squares. Okay. All right. So Lakshmi, if you like to cover few some of the example, maybe checkmate in two, just to test students, some of the Arabian mate or anesthesia, black bun, some of the mating concept, if you just quickly demonstrate. And I think that will give a chance to our intermediate and the advanced students to test their acumen.
So I will just tell few ideas about smoother mate. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Over to you. Thank you, Lakshmi.
So in chess, it's all about mating the king. Okay, the value is more important, but sometimes you can give a higher value. If you are able to mate the king, you can give any pieces. Okay, so to demonstrate that, I will just keep a position. In this position, well, we can see there are a lot of pieces really. Okay, so this is the position. Okay, in this position, you can see black has a huge material. Okay, so 9 points and 5 points for the rook, and another five and a three, three, and here one three, and also here this 3 points. Okay, but white's value is really less here. Okay, so we can see 9 plus only 3. Okay, and black's material is really huge. Okay, but the only problem for black is the king. Okay, so here we can force mate. We need to combine the queen and the knight. If we coordinate both of these pieces, we can mate. Okay, how can you mate? So how can you mate here? So how can you mate here? Okay, I will just show one small idea. So queen can come to a6 check, and when king goes to h8, we play knight to f7 check. Why knight f7 is because if king goes to f8, then queen f7 is coming, mate. So finally, king will go to h8. Now the knight will come here, check. King goes here, double check with the knight and as well as the queen. So king moves here, then we will mate. So finally, king goes there to h8. Then we sacrifice the queen to g8, check. So forcing the king to the corner. Now only with the lone knight we made. Okay, so these are some of the ideas. Okay, so we will discuss more in detail in the next class. Okay, so thank you all.
Thank you so much, everyone, for joining the session. Thank you, Lakshmi sir. Thank you, Sachin sir. Thank you for taking us. If you have any queries, you can reach out to your school education counselors. And we have a quick poll for you on the screen. And we'll wrap up the session for today. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, students.